South Africa and the rest of Africa had very strong performances. I think the one thing in South Africa itself that was different to the rest of Africa was this whole issue of the business continuity claims at Sanlam. So that obviously made South Africa overall look a lot worse. The other thing is that we've got very big credit exposures in our South African business, and you will know actually that the single biggest negative in our results was actually credit. We did have a big credit exposure in India as well, so that sort of dragged down the emerging markets. But I'd say that if you look at the rest of the businesses and you take the business continuity issue out, actually South Africa and the rest of Africa both performed very well in this period, in the circumstances.
Let's talk about the business continuity issue and obviously the business interruption provision that you have put through for pending business interruption claims. 3 billion. Are you satisfied? This has taken a long time, and Sanlam has been dragged through the press, through the courts, through public opinion. Santam, Sanlam as part of obviously the mothership. How do you feel about the situation as you've seen it unfold?
Look, I think it's been a very, very painful period for everybody. Remember, the most painful, the people who felt the pain the most were the hospitality and leisure industry with the coverage. So, I feel really deeply sorry for them and very deeply sorry for all their staff, because these businesses have been absolutely, devastated by what has happened. You talk about us getting dragged through the courts and so on, and I'm certainly not going to defend it. But what I will say to you is I think we're the first insurer in the world to have actually made a R1 billion relief payment that we did. And that was to help, I think it helped about 2,000 of the 4,000. It helped the smaller clients. And in fact, now that we're fully processing claims, actually most of those people will tell you that they've already had their claim fully settled by that relief payment. So actually, if you look at the facts rather than the way you put it, I think we did a lot better than we've been given credit for. And I think if I look at it, I don't think we managed the communication and the messaging as well as we should have. And I think it's been an incredibly difficult thing because, yes, we're the company facing the clients, but at the back, these huge risks are also reinsured out. And the reinsurers have held globally everybody's feet to the fire. And if we had just paid the claims, we would have had no recourse to them. So unfortunately, this thing has had to, go through a court process in order to settle. And you'll have seen that in the UK, for example, the regulator actually took 19 cases and expedited them in a court process to get legal resolution on the matter in order to try to settle the thing for the industry. So it's been an incredibly painful period, and but I would say whatever pain we might have felt, it really pales into insignificance in terms of the pain that our clients have felt. And I'm very sorry about that. I mean, if you could turn the clock back, I came in the middle of this thing, and I just think it's been very, very painful for our clients.
So let's move forward. 2021. Obviously, there is still a lot of uncertainty in the environment, as you've alluded to in your verbiage as well around your results for the 12-month period. And this is the same message, Paul, that I'm getting from every CEO that I'm engaging with at the moment on the results, or the raft of results that are coming out. This third wave, the vaccination process, the risk that won't have the right level of the population vaccinated ahead of winter. Where do you stand on this? I mean, it must be very concerning with this lack of visibility and managing through such a lack of visibility.
Ronan, I'm actually, obviously very concerned about the third wave and the fourth wave and what I call wave 2.5, which is, I think, a little Easter pickup that we'll see as well. But I'm not as critical about the whole vaccine rollout thing as you've kind of alluded that other people may be. Firstly, I think we need to understand that a vaccine is not a silver bullet. This is not like pulling a switch and suddenly nobody gets COVID anymore. It's a very important and sure, it's the single most important part of dealing with the pandemic, but it is certainly not a silver bullet. So I think we need to understand that even if, and you can go, I actually say to people, go and look at the data from places like Britain that have actually been rolling this thing out to extremely high levels, and you'll still see Britain's got the same population as South Africa. Okay, today, factually, it's getting 5 times as many new infections per day as South Africa. So, and that's with a massive vaccine rollout program. So, we need to talk about data and facts rather than, hyperbole that comes off social media, with respect.
So it's not really hyperbole that's coming off social media. I've spoken to
I know it's not, but
Gore,
for a lot
I've
of people,
spoken to Alan Pullinger, I've spoken to
no, sure.
Julius.
But for a lot of the public, they read social media and they get this idea that, somehow we're really hopeless in the vaccine rollout. The fact is that government and business, through Business for South Africa, have a very well set up program to get the vaccines rolled out.
100%, Paul. And
actually,
I'm certainly not, I wasn't pulling the vaccine strategy into disrepute. I was just saying that there is a concern about the third wave. And
and I said to you, I'm concerned as well, Bronwyn, about it. But I think that we also need to recognize that good work is taking place, and government and business are working very closely together. And I was saying to someone actually this morning on the way here to the studio to talk to you that actually South Africa is very lucky. We have an unbelievably good infrastructure for rolling out these vaccines, and a world-class medical infrastructure. So actually, that's why I'm actually a bit more positive, about things. And for sure, if you could say, look, could we not have got going 6 months earlier? Well, of course, but we can't turn back the clock. And all I'm saying is that from where we are today, I'm pretty optimistic that we'll get on top of this thing. But yes, we're worried about the impacts it's going to have on our business. And actually, by the way, our business is much more impacted than anybody else's. The life insurance industry is much more heavily impacted than FirstRand's business or anybody else's. So we've got the most to lose in this whole thing.
Paul, good chatting to you. Thank you very much for your
time.
Paul Hanratty,
Bronwyn, take care.
The CEO of Sanlam.